Earful Tower listeners, it's a Thursday in Paris, not a Monday, but I'm putting out an episode for the people who've been emailing me saying they missed the live show, maybe they don't have a Facebook account, maybe they missed the live stream, but you're about to hear the audio from last week's. It was the first time we ever did a live podcast episode in this tiny little studio. 6 guests, 1 hour. I hope you enjoy listening to it as much as I enjoyed making it. And one last note, there's still tickets left for the April 18th show with Adrian Leeds, so get in touch if you want a ticket. Otherwise, enjoy the episode. Okay, Earful Tower listeners and viewers, we're making history basically. Before I even introduce you guys, let me just do a bit of an explanation of what we're doing here. We're doing a 1 hour live show, the first in the history of World Radio Paris, the studio where I always record this podcast. You might be watching it live on Facebook. For a little bit of an explanation of what we're doing, we've got 6 guests, 1 hour, 10 minutes each. No one's ever tried this before here. We don't really know if it's going to work, but I've got a great bunch of guests in the background, all going to tune through over the next 10 minutes, but we're starting with you two. I'm sitting here with Amber and Sarah from Becoming Maman. Am I right so far?
Yeah.
Yep, so far so good.
Okay, so thanks firstly for being my first guest on this 1 hour podcast.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
World Radio Paris, just got to get that in a few
It's
times.
great being
We
here at
are-
World Radio Paris.
I love being here at World Radio. WRP, if you will.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So for the people who are watching right there in that camera on Facebook, this is being streamed on the Earful Tower's Facebook. If you're wondering who these women are, you guys...
You found us on the street. No.
More or less. No, this is... Firstly, Amber is a friend of the show. Amber Minogue, you've been on a bunch of times.
I have, yeah.
And Sarah Donnelly
Yes.
haven't been on yet.
Haven't been on yet.
But you two and... Oh, this little chap
Yeah.
we should address. Anyone that can hear that or who's watching, that's Hugo.
Yeah, this is Hugo. Anyone that can hear the sound effects. Well, I mean, it's live. It's 5 o'clock. School's out.
That's right.
Yeah.
And at Becoming Maman, it's about being a maman.
So that's what we're going to talk about. Being a what is a maman? I don't even know what that sound is. It's a French word, obviously.
It's a French word. It means mommy or mummy in French.
I detect an American accent.
I am American, so I would say mommy.
Okay.
And I say mummy.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we are not mummy.
What are you?
Well, we're maman.
We're maman.
Maman.
That's the whole thing.
Yeah, we have French children. So we've written a whole comedy show about what it's like raising a child in France when they're French and you're not, and all the comedy that falls in with
And
that.
Hugo wants to be on the radio, I
He
think.
Yes.
very much wants to contribute.
Can he hear what we... No.
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 He's listening to something else. A rival podcast?
Yeah.
Just nothing.
Okay, but there's big news today is that... so we're recording this in Paris on Thursday. Obviously, it's live. Today's your first show.
Yes.
Yeah.
Talk me through it.
Opening night.
It's opening night. So we have to run off after this and do a sound check, and then we'll be on stage within 2 hours.
Yep.
3 hours.
Yeah, we're heading over to the Theatre Beau Saint-Martin near Republique.
Right. Why is it called Beau?
Because it's Beau.
Why? What,
I don't
like
know.
beautiful,
No.
handsome.
I don't know.
No, it's just B-O, like
Okay.
it stinks, like Paris.
right.
Like,
Body
I don't know.
Okay, so what's in the show for these people? There's people. Anyone wondering why there's laughter?
Thanks,
We've got all the guests fit in this tiny little studio, which we've never done before either. But it's nice. It's like a laughter track, a real laughter track.
Yeah.
But
That's
what's
good.
What's the show about?
Well, I mean, it's about, raising French kids when you're not French and kind of the experience of not being a mummy, but rather a maman and all the problems that
Disagree.
has.
Hugo disagrees.
He doesn't want to agree. Yeah, no. So, go for it, Sarah.
Right, I am the one whose child is not here right now. So basically, Amber and I, both of our husbands are French, and we had our children here. And there's a lot of comedy in becoming a mom or a mum, but doing it in a different language, in a different culture, in our home country now, our adopted home country. And we just have noticed maybe some cultural differences and some funny things that we've had to do along the way as maman, plutôt
Question.
maman.
Do
Yes.
French children throw food? True or false?
They
True,
do.
yeah.
Yeah.
So there's
they
this
do.
book. What's the Pamela Zuckerman?
Pamela
Druckerman.
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 Right.
Yes.
She says French children don't throw food, and you guys are disputing
Well,
that.
I do have a French child.
Yeah.
She
probably doesn't. Or?
She does throw
Okay.
food, and
Oh, okay, but I thought maybe Pamela doesn't have a child and she faked the
Uh,
whole book.
so Pamela says she's an American journalist, and she wrote a book about bringing up Bebe as an alternative title. And we like to say that our show is like that book if that book was a dark comedy.
Oh, wow.
So if you've read the book, you know about the book. We've kind of taken the comedic aspect. She took a very journalistic research aspect, and we're really just talking about our lives and our own personal experiences.
Yeah.
Are the kids involved in the show?
No.
It's
Well-
not child friendly.
It's not child friendly. No.
No.
Children are not to. No. We're talking about them, not for
Yeah,
them.
not for them.
And who are the audience? French people or
Well, it's
expats?
a.
I mean, you don't know because you haven't.
We
gone
don't
before.
know.
Right.
It's opening night, Oliver.
Oh
We
my
don't know yet.
Have you had what are they called? Full dress rehearsals?
Yes.
You seem surprised. I don't believe it.
in my home earlier today. Now it's a 1 hour show. Amber and I, we wrote it together. You think we could remember the text that we wrote, but I think when you become a mom, your memory just
Wow.
gets really short. So we will see tonight
We
how
will
much we
see
can
if
Are
remember.
there
we
still any
remember it.
tickets left?
Yes.
Are some tickets left
So you
tonight?
guys watching, I'm going to address the Facebook watchers here. If you want to see a show tonight, this is what you got to go do. What time is it? 8 o'clock?
8 o'clock by Republique, Théâtre Beau Saint-Martin. It's literally 5 minutes from Republique. We would love to offer 2 listeners right now tickets to the show tonight. 2 free tickets tonight. So if anyone, I guess on the Facebook feed, can comment and say, I'm available, you can come through.
What we should do,
But, yeah.
let's decide, because I can see now the comments coming through.
Yeah.
We should decide right now, live, of a code word. And the first person to write that code word, who can come to the show,
Yes.
Yeah.
you Americans watching and you people in Tanzania or whatever, you don't count, unfortunately, for this one. For tonight's show,
Yes.
what's the code word? First person to write to get the tickets.
Well, I mean, it needs to be one of those great words
A
because there's
hard
so
word
many
to
good
type. You have to
children
spell
words.
it correctly as well.
Ooh, we have to spell it
a
correctly.
hard word.
Hard word.
do you
I'm
think?
thinking of the G word, but
G
it's
word?
too hard to type.
Oliver G. G-E-E. No.
No, I was thinking of gigators.
That's
Yes.
too hard. You want people to come to the
Gigators.
show.
Exactly.
Is
Yeah,
that
that's
it?
too
Okay.
hard. No. Let's choose an
What?
easier
I
one.
like to think people have started typing already.
Serum. The serum.
Serum physiologique.
Physiologique. If they can spell serum
Serum physiologique.
physiologique, then they can come. And if they're a maman, they know what that is and they know how to spell it because they got a lot in their house.
Yes.
Okay, let's hear the word one more time for the camera.
Serum physiologique.
Okay, so the first comment to write
Everyone
that
here is
down.
like, we have no idea what that is.
No, what is that?
It's saline that comes in these little tubes, and it's like a rite of passage having a baby in France to shoot one of these up your child's nose. Your child is not French until a vial of serum physiologique. Our French producer is laughing, and he's like, "It's true.
It's true.
Has gone up your nose."
What do
Yeah.
you? So what do? You stuck a baby that's just been born. You put.
Nasal hygiene.
Nasal hygiene.
That is what they're all about here in
French
France, keeping those
love-
passages clean.
They love a good
wow.
saline spray.
Okay.
It starts from birth.
That was easy.
Okay. So people watching live or listening live, I've asked our producer David that every time the 10 minutes is up to press the button. The only button that we had that was easy, and that means that your time is up.
Okay, then.
Listen, we won't take points off for spelling incorrectly. If someone
Okay.
has attempted to spell the word,
Okay.
We'll accept it.
And
We'll
let's say
accept
if
it.
there just happens to be no one watching live right now from Paris, we'll take the first one and maybe they can come next week.
yeah,
That would work for me.
yeah,
Cool.
absolutely.
All right, then.
Well, thank you very much for coming in. That's Théâtre Beau Saint-Martin.
Yes.
Yep.
That's Becoming Maman.
Coming,
Yep.
Maman.
That's Amber and Sarah.
Yep.
Thanks for coming in.
And
Thanks for
this
having
is
us.
Oliver G and World Radio Paris.
And the Earful Tower.
Thanks for having us.
Hey, thanks for coming in. Let's get on the next guest. I'll do a little introduction. Our next guest is a tour guide, and she's been on the show before, as has Amber Minogue, who's just in. And she... We were having coffee the other day in Le Peloton coffee shop, one of my favorites, and she said, you know what, it's just like, she goes, it's just like the giraffe in France, the famous giraffe story from history. I said, April, what are you talking about? Is that how it went?
Yeah, something like that.
It's
pretty
April
much.
Pet.
Hello,
April Pet from
bonjour,
April in Paris
hi.
Tours. We got you in here because it's April.
It's April.
It's
It's my
Paris.
month. We're in April in Paris now.
You're a
Yes,
friend of the show.
exciting.
You came on last time to talk about the best streets in
My
Paris.
favorite streets in each arrondissement.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
So we did 20,
Yes.
and I've been to a lot of them since.
Yeah, I've been watching some of your Facebook lives.
Yeah, I've been to some of them again on
great.
Facebook Live. Right, I think Rue Passy or Rue de Passy. Or
Passy, Rue
that was, who knows, but it was really nice. Everyone was just there. So April's a tour guide extraordinaire. Before we get onto this giraffe story, which I love,
Yeah.
just for anyone watching wanting to book a tour, April in Paris Tours.
C'est moi. Hello.
It's-
Bonjour.
It's her. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, what the heck is this giraffe story? I want you to tell this story.
All right. So take your mind back, okay? We're going back to 1826.
1826.
1826.
Okay. I'm back in the room.
Yeah.
I've got it.
Okay. And you're amongst 30,000 people at the Jardin des Plantes here in Paris. Okay.
Right.
So that's the botanical gardens along the river. And you are awaiting the arrival of the first giraffe to touch French soil in over 3 centuries.
What?
Can you imagine that, though?
No.
Before social
You wouldn't even
media
know what
was
a
a
giraffe
thing,
is.
before Instagram, before even the newspaper or the news in general. Like,
Definitely
imagine
before podcasts.
Yeah, before podcasts.
Definitely.
But on podcasts, you can't actually visualize
No.
a giraffe
That's why we
before
do the
seeing.
Facebook Live
Yeah,
one. Yeah.
great. And so, but a giraffe is kind of a funny-looking animal,
Yeah,
right?
right,
And so
right.
imagine you're waiting this giraffe to arrive at the Jardin des Plantes. Okay,
I'm back in. Okay, I'm back in the room. 1826.
Yeah,
You're waiting.
so-
Everyone said there's a giraffe coming. I'm in the room. I'm going. What's a giraffe?
A giraffe, it's a tall,
Yeah, but
necked
I wouldn't have known
mammal.
that because I'm in 1826.
Yeah. And so, but it's making its way through France, okay, because it walks from Marseille 41 days. And so, as it's making its way through France, people are coming from all over. All these villages along the way are just filling up with the residents from the citizens anticipating the arrival of the giraffe coming through. So now, why does France receive this giraffe anywhere? Where does it come from?
Right.
So imagine back then, okay, the Ottoman Empire
Right, I'm
is
back
under
there.
attack
Yep.
by Greece. And Egypt is part of the Ottoman Empire back then. And France is backing Greece.
Okay,
And
I'm with
so-
you. Yeah.
Sasha Muhammad Ali, he says, what can I do to make France not turn against us?
Right,
how
right.
can we lure France onto our side and not back Greece? And
I know what he should have done.
he said,
Given an animal.
somebody said the French consulate or ambassador rather in Egypt said, well, why don't you offer them an extraordinary gift? Why not offer them a giraffe? And so this young giraffe was captured in the wild. Her name was Zarafa, and she's sent here. So she travels by camelback from Egypt.
What does that
to-
even mean? They put her on a camel.
Well, she was just a little baby giraffe
Oh,
by
right.
at that
That's-
point.
that's
okay,
really smart,
yeah,
actually.
and so they put her on camelback, and they bring her to the Nile, along with 3 cows that each produce 25 liters of milk a day for the giraffe, okay? And so they get to the Nile and bring her to Alexandria by a little boat, okay? And now, when she hits the ocean, it's time to get her across, and so they put her on another boat. They actually cut a hole in the deck, so now Zarafa's head can go through the
Right.
deck, okay, get some fresh air, and they hit the port at Marseille. And so that from there, it's about 900 kilometers to Paris from that point. And so she walks
And
41
at this
days.
point, she's too big to put on a camel, and there's not many camels in France in 1826 anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know if the camel had even come to France yet at that
No.
point, to be honest. So
People were
But-
excited about it, probably.
But at this point, this 41 days, she's really building muscle and she's getting nice and toned. And so when she arrives at the Jardin des Plantes, people are going wild seeing this new giraffe, and like giraffe mania begins in France. And the women of Paris, they start wearing their hair in these big, tall hairdos. And the pattern, the giraffe pattern,
Right.
people
Spots.
Adrian, you would like that with the bright colors.
Don't
hey?
give away
Yeah.
the future guest. Oh no, that's all right. I've
no.
given that one away. Adrian would like. That's a
Yeah.
clue of an
And
upcoming
so
guest.
people would wear the brightly colored, brightly patterned giraffe outfits.
Right.
And
Ice cream flavored giraffe flavored ice cream.
no, that's a
No.
bit weird.
No, that is a
yeah,
bit weird.
that's very weird.
Right.
However.
But it became a trend, right? It became
Yeah,
this
look
trend
at that. That's similar,
Oh
kind
my
of.
god! Okay. You can show that cameraman.
And
Adrian, wait your turn. Okay, so this giraffe.
yeah, and even La Gazette, which was a newspaper back in the day,
Right.
right? Called the giraffe Her Highness was
Really?
arriving. Yeah, because it was a royal giraffe was given to Charles X, but you get the pun,
And
Highness.
Oh,
Huh?
right, that's not bad. That's a good pun. I like a good
thought it
pun
was
on this show.
pretty good.
Yeah, that's not bad. So this giraffe comes. I love this story. So it's the
Yeah.
first giraffe in 300 years. So a lot of people have seen a giraffe before in France, but
Yeah.
so far back that no one
Ages
remembers.
ago.
And then they get this giraffe here to Marseille, have to figure out how to bring it. And as I understand, it was like it was like fanfare all the way up. People are coming as
yeah.
it walked through Lyon and stuff and going, wow, check that giraffe out.
Yeah.
It's leaving this wake behind it of amazing...
Throwing confetti as
yeah.
it comes through, welcoming the
And
giraffe.
but the giraffe, sadly, as I understand,
Yeah,
died.
It did, yeah. So she lived in the Jardin des Plantes only for 18 years before she passed away.
That's a good
And
score for a
so
giraffe, isn't it? 18?
I don't know what
No,
the
I
life
don't know.
expectancy
No, I
is,
don't
to be honest. I'll let you know.
Yeah.
I'll look it up. Yeah.
We have to book a tour with you to find out the giraffe expectancy.
And so, so after she passed, they... taxidermy at its finest, stuffed her, and then she was actually located in the Jardin des Plantes for many years.
Right.
Yeah.
And that Jardin des Plantes, that's still, you can go visit that place.
Oh, yeah, it's amazing.
yeah.
The reason she ended up in the Jardin des Plantes is because there's a zoo there, and it's this oldest zoo in France, and the second oldest zoo in the world after the Vienna Royal Zoo.
Really?
Yeah, and it's still there. There's no giraffes there today because they decided to...
They rode the camels off into the distance. That's what happened.
Well, no, it wasn't nice for the large animals. So now it's just smaller animals in kind of their habitat, And but anyway, today she is at the she is in La Rochelle at the Natural History Museum. So if you do want to go see Zafara, head over to La Rochelle. Check her out there. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And as for the Jardin des Plantes, because this show, you know the show, you've been on the show.
Yeah,
it's all about
sure.
figuring out France, giving tips to people. Is that zoo any good?
It's great, actually. I do go there.
We're not sponsored by them. You can say what you want.
No, it's cute.
Okay,
I do go there. I have launched an April in Paris for Kids tour, and as part of that tour, we go through the Jardin des Plantes. There's parts of the menagerie, the zoo, that we do visit as part of the tour, and there's actually wallabies.
Wallabies, Australian animal wallabies.
Yeah, you can go check out your
my
little.
home,
I was going to say
my
home
mates.
turf. Yeah, no, it's not home turf, but yeah, your mates from
pretty
down
cool.
under. There you go. Yeah.
Okay, and
That was easy.
wow, that was actually perfect timing. That if anyone's
Perfect.
just tuning in on Facebook, we've got a 10-minute section for each guest. Your 10 minutes is unfortunately
Yeah.
up.
Well, thank you for having me, Oliver. Thank you for WRP for having
Thank
me
you
as
for
well.
mentioning it. Yeah. And anyone that wants to book a tour with April,
me. April in Paris Tours.
you'll find everybody that's watching this on Facebook. You'll see at the top there's a bunch of links. April's link is there. Book a tour with her. Yeah.
Yeah, come see me. It's April in Paris. Join me.
Thanks for coming in,
Merci
April.
beaucoup. Okay.
See you next time.
See you next time, Ollie.
I'll talk to you listeners at home. And you Facebook watchers, I see there's a bunch of you now. I forgot to be looking at your comments as we're going, but I'm looking at them now. So put a comment, put a like, let us know what's thinking. As you're doing that, we got our next guest coming in. If you're just tuning in, I should do a bit of a rewind. This is the 1 hour live Earful Tower Facebook show. We're streaming on World Radio Paris. We got a bunch of friends of the show coming in, giving you a slice of their Paris. The next one is another friend of the show. You heard his voice more than anyone else's voice on the show besides my own. Who is it? It's the guy who did the jingle for the first 2 seasons, Sam Barrantes.
Earful Tower with Oliver G.
There you go. Do you guys remember that? The regular listeners will remember
Hello.
that. How you doing, Sam?
I'm doing all right.
You're a
thank you.
friend of the show.
I am a friend of the show and of you as well.
Hey, thanks. Yeah, you can't really be a friend of
Yours,
the
I
show. It
guess.
doesn't really
Yeah,
make
that's
sense,
right.
does it?
No, it doesn't.
But I'm interested because we were talking before we pressed record. You were the very first guest on the show.
I was. It
You
was an
guys-
honor.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It was an honor to have
We
you
were in a
guys.
different studio back then.
That's right.
Back in those days.
We never did Facebook Live videos, did we?
We did not.
No.
Didn't even know what those were.
No. But you guys came in, you and your band Slim and the Beast.
Yes,
You came in with guitars, harmonica. We had a jam session.
we did.
In fact, little known fact, these were the guys that encouraged me to do a podcast. You remember that?
I do.
Yeah.
I remember around the canal maybe we were chatting about
Something
it,
like
and
that. Yeah.
and look where you are now.
Well, look how it all goes forward, right?
There we are.
But before we get talking about you and your writing and your music and
Yes.
your jingles,
Of
I just want to focus on the jingles for a second.
Okay.
Anyone watching this, because this is what we were talking about before we press record, a bunch of people miss the jingle. They say, bring the jingle back.
That's the rumor on the street, you know.
April misses
There we
it.
go. You
And
got one vote.
I said, guys, we got to evolve all the time and try new things. But hey, maybe you got to bring back old things. Sometimes, I don't know.
If it ain't broke, you know, as the old saying goes.
Right. So I'm appealing to you guys on Facebook. Put a comment, put a like, put a something, and say, bring back the jingle, or say, good golly, I hate Sam's jingle, leave it alone.
We can move on. We respect that decision too.
Yes,
you know?
Sam's the best, says Juan.
All right, Juan.
Okay.
I'm there for you, man.
Okay, so let's talk about you and your life in Paris, because what I think is very interesting about you is you got something a lot of people don't. And that's a book of your own in Shakespeare and Company bookshop.
This is true. That was kind of the biggest highlight of my life so far.
Is that true?
Yes, 100%. I actually remember seeing it on a bookshelf next to two authors of some of my favorite authors, James Baldwin and Julian Barnes. You can't really ask for
Because of
anything more than
alphabetical
that.
order. Right?
Exactly,
Yeah.
right, yeah. That's Barrantes, I can't be next to J.K. Rowling, for
No,
example.
no. She's got like 8 shelves of her own.
Yeah, exactly.
That
No,
would
I've
be
got
prime
one
real
little-
estate, don't you think?
I think it would be very prime time real
Yeah.
estate. There was a very kind person once that put my book for some reason on the front table. I don't know why.
Maybe it was JK.
I think it probably was a friend of a friend or something,
Who knows?
But yeah, you can't really ask for anything more than being on a bookshelf with some of your favorite authors.
Can we talk about that? How did they decide, or did you?
So I actually, either as an author, you contact them and say if you're interested in buying, a
Yeah.
certain amount of books.
Should we explain what Shakespeare and Company is for the people who don't know, or does
Probably.
everybody know?
Shakespeare and Company is one of the oldest bookstores around these parts. It was actually started in 1919 by Sylvia Beach, who was the publisher of Ulysses. No one else was really interested in publishing Ulysses, and of course she took the chance, and she became an institution here. So that's an old bookstore that has become quite the tourist attraction as well.
That's pretty cool.
Indeed,
And now you're in there.
I'm in there. So
Let's talk about your book, Slim and the Beast.
Slim and the Beast. It is about, it's kind of as the German word says, Bildungsroman, which really just means a coming-of-age story.
What is it? Bildungsroman.
Bildungsroman, which
Yeah.
is a terrible German accent.
Yeah.
But it's about coming of age.
you sounded
of these
Swedish.
Yeah, it sounds more Swedish.
Yeah.
Right? Well, you
don't
speak a bit of
know. I
Swedish.
don't know.
right?
I don't know.
It's about a guy and growing up in North Carolina, a famous basketball player. So he plays a lot of college basketball. I know you're very familiar with American college basketball. And he plays
Not
for the
true.
University of North Carolina. He's very well known, is expected to be the top professional draft pick in the NBA draft. But he has this secret passion for cooking because of his parents. They're chefs. So he has this conflict of interest insofar as he's expected to do one thing, and of course he maybe has a desire to do something else, which was a reflection of my life at that time. And he meets this guy who's a war veteran, and their friendship kind of it illuminates the possibilities they both have for themselves as humans that want to define their own path versus what society says.
There you go. I'm
you
not
go.
gonna. Don't spoil the ending.
I will,
But
will
it's not. It's not about Paris. Like often I get authors.
There is
on
a mention of it, though.
There's a mention of Paris.
Yeah.
Often I get authors on the show who've written books about Paris, but that's not all I do here.
No, of course not.
No,
I actually wrote it in Paris, so you
that's
know.
cool. That's also something we should talk about. You're a. I mean, that's another dream that a lot of people have is being a writer in Paris.
It is.
Is the dream as nice as people make it sound?
Oh, it's nicer.
Oh, really? Like
it
people,
is.
yeah, Hemingway. Everyone's got this idea.
Well,
of
the thing
being
about
like
Hemingway, he had patrons back in the States. He always just asked for a check, and he would usually get it. I also heard that he abandoned his first child, which is not too cool. So
Oh, really?
you can write a lot when you don't.
When you say
really
patrons, you don't mean like Patreon. You mean like
well,
people?
I do kind of mean it was a 1920s version of Patreon,
Right.
in fact. But yeah, no, he was able to do that here. As a lot of writers here, obviously you find part-time work and you make ends meet. Obviously, if you can have support from someone, that's great. But usually, most of the writers I know here, you work to be able to create a lifestyle that allows you to work in the afternoons or the evenings or the mornings, however you define it.
So what do you think is? I mean, besides the fact that you guys will be hanging out in different areas of Paris,
Yes.
how much is it? How much is your life different to old Hemingway's?
Oh, I mean, I would like to romanticize it and say not very much. I like to drink and eat and talk to people. That's about as Hemingway as it gets, I think.
You're not like the bullfighter or the elephant catcher or the giraffe
No,
carrier.
I'm Spanish, so I could hypothetically bullfight if I ever wanted to.
Comes with the passport, or
Yes, that's another little anecdote. It's helpful to have a European passport because I feel terrible for my friends who have to work hard for visas, which is not as obviously as romanticized as just showing up off a boat.
Yeah.
Because I came here on a boat when
Like
back
a
in
giraffe
2010.
once again.
Exactly.
yeah.
So it's quite the dream. I can't complain between music and writing and going on my friend's podcast. What else can you really ask for?
Hey, you know what? I'm getting comments in here. Yes, says Deborah Ball. I really, really miss the original jingle. Love Heart. Hope
Wow.
to return to it.
This just won't go away. This jingle. Maybe we should do a Patreon and make it a full song.
That's not a bad idea. That was like a Christmas special. Padre Eddie says, "Bring back the old jingle."
Wow,
Love the interview.
they're really they're stuck on the interview. That's beautiful.
Corinne says, "Cutting out a bit."
Cutting out a bit.
Yeah. So sorry if we're cutting out on Facebook, but
Maybe she's cutting out.
oh, maybe that's what you mean, like cutting out shapes or something.
Yeah, exactly. Doing a pastiche or a collage of something.
What was I going to say?
I don't know.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say to anyone that's just tuning in on Facebook now, just to give them a
Yes.
heads up of what's going on. We're doing a live 1 hour. That's these guys. This is Sam
I
Barrantes.
should
People
probably
maybe
look
just
at the,
tuned in right
hello.
now, you know.
Hello, people.
But we're also streaming it live on World Radio Paris, which is a radio station in Paris. You can just go on worldradioparis.com, and I think there's a button that says Stream Live,
Okay.
and then you can listen. That's right. So if you're driving and watching this, that's stupid. Stop driving and listen to the radio version instead, digital radio.
Wise advice.
Last time you were on the show, as I said, you're a friend of the show. You've been on before.
Yes. I have
We're talking
been.
about how to live cheaply in Paris.
Yep, that's something you need to know.
You still doing that?
I am doing that. I'm actually moving to New Orleans in about 10 days or 11 days for 3 months to be playing music with my band. So I'm here as a representative for myself versus my band because I'm only a third of the band.
Sure.
And lo and behold, the name of the band is Slim and the Beast.
What?
The
The name of your first book.
Exactly. We put it to a vote a while ago, and my twin brother and my buddy Aurelian, who's in the band with me, they said, this sounds like the right band name. I was a bit hesitant because I don't want to be that guy that's trying to double promote myself, but it's kind of evolved into a different project, which is cool. Obviously, that novel, I've written another one since that I'm working on to get published. And
Can we know what the next one's called?
the next one is called The Requisitions,
The Requisitions.
and it has nothing to do with North Carolina or childhood.
Is it all about Paris and Hemingway?
It is about the Nazi occupation of Poland. Not exactly.
So
the
not
same
exactly
thing.
Paris.
Not
No.
exactly. There is a mention of Paris, though.
Yeah, that's like your
I gotta
like
mention
signature.
Paris,
You know, it's
exactly.
like Hitchcock making an
Write
appearance
what you
in his
know.
own movie.
Exactly.
You put a little Paris
There
on,
you go.
one of the pages.
Exactly.
Okay. And this is maybe a question we can finish up on.
Yes.
People with this romantic idea of living in Paris,
Mhm.
you know, living cheap, living in the chambre de bonnes under the rooftops.
Right.
Do you think that deep down they want to be living the swanky life at the Ritz, or do you think it is actually a romantic kind of?
Oh, I think it is romantic. I think the swanky life at the Ritz. There's a certain type of person that moves here for that, and that's a different world, and it's also great, I imagine, for its own.
I don't
Actually,
know. I don't
I
know.
organized an event for where I work at the Ritz, and it's a swanky place indeed.
Hang on, you don't work at the Ritz. You
No,
organize.
I organized
an
an event where I'm working as but yeah, it's a. I think there is a romantic ideal to living cheaply, comfortably, but also simply.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of, I got a bottle of cheap champagne in the fridge.
we
If
go.
you'll hang around at the end of this for
That was easy.
The simple things.
anyone wondering what they just heard, that was the buzzer. Our time is up, Sam.
Thank you very much.
How
and to
can
all
people
these great women here doing awesome things in Paris as well. It's an honor to be part of the show and World Radio Paris.
Earful Tower with all of a G.
Thanks for coming on, Sam. I don't know if you Facebook guys could hear what I just heard in my ears, but the jingle that Sam made on the first episode was just played in my ears. That was really lovely. So next guest is coming and sitting down right next to me. She's Adrienne Leeds, quite simply, real estate.
Hey, wait, I want the blue mic.
We can't switch mics. It matches you better, though.
Right,
Oh.
that's the point.
Look what I brought today.
Oh, never mind. Oh, he's brought his beret.
Oh, it doesn't work with the thing on. Oh, man.
Sorry. Oh, wait, I need my thing.
Adrienne Leeds. So for you guys watching and listening, thinking, who's Adrienne Leeds? That means you haven't been listening to the show. You're Adrienne Leeds,
Last time I looked.
real estate consultant, real estate agent, TV star, recognized on the streets. Is that a fair enough summary? And Parisian.
Pretty good.
Parisian?
Pretty good.
Yeah. From New Orleans.
New Orleans.
Just like our last guest, Sam.
Yeah, Sam's going to New Orleans.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
that's cool.
So you've been gracious enough to come on the show.
Well,
after-
you've been gracious enough to have me.
Well, thank you.
It's always fun.
Yeah. So you've been filming all day. A lot of the people that are watching this or listening or have heard of you before, they've seen you on a TV show called House Hunters International.
I hope so.
I've never seen it on TV.
Well, you could watch it if you come to my Parler Paris après-midi on Tuesday from 3 to 5 p.m. at Le Café de la Mairie.
And then you're going to do a screening of it.
Well, I'm going to show about 3 of our episodes.
Cool.
And it's free, and all you have to do is
Do they need to
show
write a
up.
code word?
No. Just show up and come early to get a good seat.
I think I'm going to do a bit of context about you before we continue this conversation because I can already see the comments coming up.
Uh-oh.
Something that the 4 comments. Yay, Adrienne. Hi, Adrienne. I love her. Used to watch her a lot. Yay, hello, Adrienne from Jim and Kirsten in Corsica.
Oh, this is going to ruin me.
No offense to the past guests, Sam, April, and Amber and Sarah, but the people love Adrian like something I've never seen before. How did you get to this level of people reacting like that?
I don't really know.
No?
I think
It's the berets.
It's the berets.
Right?
The show is very popular. The show's really fun, and it's fun to do. And I guess I just get to be my crazy self. And
Yeah.
so I don't know.
So it's basically you're helping people. You're helping people to find their dream apartment.
Yeah, I've been doing that a long time, helping people not just find their dream apartment, but just manage to find a way to get here.
Cool.
Yeah.
And it can be harder than you think sometimes.
It can be easier than you think.
Oh,
too.
wow. What does that mean?
Well, it means if you know how to do it,
Yeah.
then it gets easier. And that's what I've been teaching people to do.
As a sort of consultant.
Yeah.
So I'm going to get back to that in a sec. But the reason I want to say something to the Facebook followers and the listeners is I've constructed this so you're on a little longer than 10 minutes for two reasons.
Oh, thank you.
Firstly, because I also want to promote the fact that we're doing a live show together.
We are.
And maybe we should talk about that first, and then we'll talk a bit more about House Hunters, the TV show.
Okay.
April 18th. So April 18th. I haven't really promoted it so much because I really want the people that want to see it to come and not just people go, that'll be something fun to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So April 18th, me and Adrian are going to be sitting in Café Méricourt in the 11th, Rue de la Folie Méricourt, from I think 7 p.m. And we're going to be talking about this idea of why Paris.
Why Paris?
Yeah,
Good
why
question.
We sat in the cafe and talked about this, and we said, why Paris? And we just laughed for 20 minutes. And said,
I've been asking that of myself for 23 years.
23? Is that how long you've been here?
Yeah,
23 years.
And a half, yeah.
Okay, 23 and a half years. And
Still wondering why I'm still here.
so it should be easy for us to talk about it in the
it
show.
is.
But we're going to talk about this idea of why people want to live in Paris, why they want to, come to Paris, especially when it's so expensive. you might
And
say.
why they stay in Paris.
And why they stay. But maybe we could give a little taste. Can you summarize it in 30 seconds why people keep coming here?
I think it's a different reason for everyone. But I think that my primary reason is the absolute beauty, just the physical beauty of the city. Every single day you walk out of your door and you see this gorgeous city, and it's pretty hard to top that. I mean, maybe the beach. The beach is great. Love the blue water, but that kind of gets boring after a while. But Paris never gets boring.
What about the Paris plage? You know when they put the beaches... They put beaches along the Seine. They put a bunch of sand there.
It's not
You
quite
got
the
the beach?
It's not
No.
quite the Riviera.
No.
Okay, but anyway, it's still Paris.
Do you want to hear some more comments? It might.
Sure.
They say we saw her when we were in Paris, and I wish we'd said hello.
Well, why didn't they?
Lucy Glynn, she says it made our day. They saw you from across the street. They didn't even say
They
hello.
should have come to say hello. I would have said hello back.
There you go. This is funny because when we did a walk show for something I haven't mentioned yet, Patreon followers who support the show. For all you guys, you would have seen that we walked around, what was it, Rue
Rouvier du Temple.
Rouvier du Temple. And we're doing this walk show. I call it a walk show, you know that. It's like a talk show, but you're
Except
walking.
you're walking
yeah.
and talking
So
at
we're
the same
walking down the
time.
street and some guy, I was showing a burned door, which was pretty interesting, I thought. And some guy comes up.
Fascinating burned
Yeah, I
door.
thought it was pretty fascinating. And some American guy comes up and goes, hey.
Lady
He
from
goes,
House
he goes,
Hunters.
lady, I know
Yeah.
you, like that. And
I know. I get screamed at from
Really?
from across the
So
street.
Lucy Glynn,
I get-
you should scream.
yeah,
Is that what you're
scream next
suggesting
time.
people
Sure,
do?
just scream. Hey, you lady from
Yeah.
House Hunters.
What does that do for your typical day? How does that make you feel when people are stopping you?
Well, it feels good.
Is
of
it
course,
irritating?
because- No.
No.
Everybody's so good humored,
Yeah.
and they love the show, and then they, and they say all these nice things. So I mean, excuse me, but I love that.
Yeah. Do
Yeah.
they take pictures with you as well?
Yes.
And then
Oh, I have to show my grandmother. She just loves you, and I'm going, oh, grandmother.
is the show popular among older people, or it's
just
mostly in the,
it's just popular. Yeah, it's like the 8th most popular show in the United States,
The
or something. Yeah, it's something really
top 10.
silly. Yeah.
Hoping to crack the top 5 market.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That would be too much then.
Anyway.
I heard that in Paris that people don't, when it comes to celebrities and stuff, they don't approach them as much as they maybe do in America.
Oh, I don't think... I used to live in Los Angeles and see celebrities all the time, and you would never actually go up and bother them. But I think those people are more sort of unapproachable. For whatever reason, because I'm like this normal on reality TV, I'm more approachable. So
You're
they
a reality
don't,
TV star.
so they don't.
That's what you
They
are.
don't hesitate to, come up and ask to take pictures with me and stuff.
But that
like
was pretty cool. I thought at first maybe that when we did that walk show that you'd staged it and it was like your neighbor or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's nice.
No, I'm just kidding. But it was kind of cool. That was cool.
So I'm filming a show right now.
That's what I wanted to
In the
talk
middle
about
of it.
today. Also up a bunch of steps.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because this studio, if anyone doesn't know, is up 7 flights of steps.
Yes.
Guests tend to complain about it.
I can see why.
Yeah, all right.
But I've already gotten my exercise because we filmed this morning in an apartment that is up 5 flights. Tomorrow morning we're filming in an apartment that is up 6 flights.
That's a bit excessive. With no
And-
elevator, I take it.
No elevator. And I have 3 flights to my own apartment, so I'm pretty used to it.
Yeah.
Keeps you fit.
I mean, that's a good part of it, isn't it? You don't need a gym membership when you're in Paris.
I call it Step Reebok without the Reebok.
That's pretty good. Someone's saying here, Gail, she says, everyone should subscribe to French Property Insider, a weekly e-letter.
Oh, thank you. That's one of my newsletters.
So tell me more about that.
Well, I write 3 times a week. I write Parlez Paris and Parlez Nice and French Property Insider. So I put out a lot of material, and it's free to subscribe. And all you have to do is go to adrianleeds.com and
There is a
find the
website at the
subscribe
top.
button.
I've put the comment there for adrianleeds.com so people
Oh,
can
good.
see that.
Thank you.
Yeah. And why would they? I mean, this is just for people that want to come to Paris, or is this just for?
No, I've been writing since 1998, and it's really just
Didn't you
life.
write the first ebook of restaurants?
I
What
did.
was
I
that?
wrote the first electronic book
Yeah.
on restaurants.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, the restaurant guide. Yeah,
Yeah.
in 1996.
Isn't that wild?
It's crazy.
And then what
right?
happened? All the.
Yeah, Zagat and everybody else
Yeah.
took over, but
Can you still read that ebook? Are all the restaurants closed?
no. I stopped doing that a while ago. I got a little too busy.
I went on a tangent there, by the way. I forgot what we were
That's
talking. What
okay.
were we talking about?
House Hunters.
House Hunters. Yeah.
About filming.
That's
This is my 32nd House Hunter show.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm really proud of this, actually. No one's done as many shows as me. No other agent. There's one agent in London, I think, that's done 16. But
And this is around the world, as in you're doing strictly France, right?
mostly Paris and strictly France.
So the other people are doing around in is it similarly
Well,
sort of
there are
famous
all
countries?
over the world.
Or
All
do
over
they,
the
do
world.
They do,
Sure.
Do they sometimes do countries that aren't so popular? You know? Do they do in
Well,
like Uganda,
they're
for
looking
example?
for audience,
Yeah,
so I
right.
don't
So Paris is-
think so. Paris is very popular.
You know, I've got a before we continue with House Hunters, I've got a question I've been meaning to ask you for ages, actually. So I imagine, there's nothing bad, but I imagine that a lot of people who know you would say, like, who get to know you, they'd say, "Oh, Adrian, if there's a house coming around in Paris, can you let me know quickly?"
Oh,
Yeah.
you better get that from everybody.
Yeah. So my question is, how long is your list of people who think that they're on the list at the top? How long does your list go?
Well, that's just sort of an impossible thing to do. We don't list many properties, so we have to go out and find them. I can find you anything.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, I can go out and pretty much find you anything within reason, but
So so then when I ask you, when people say keep an eye out for, I mean, surely
we're not
people-
keeping an eye out for anybody. No. I mean, let's get real here. It's called, I'm going to hire you, and this is what I want, and then we're going to go out and find it. I mean, that's the way it works.
But surely people do ask you.
Of course.
Yeah. So how many people
You
have
wanna
asked
see my emails
I
every
I want to
day?
have an idea of how many people are on like think they're getting the inside word from you.
Well, le problème c'est que,
What
the problem is that the way the American system works, where all properties are on the MLS, the multiple listing service, everyone has full access to every property on the market, so it's kind of easy. But that's not the way it works here. Every agency has its own little pocket of properties, and you have to go to every agency.
Right.
Yeah, so it's my job.
so it's more of you solve the problem for what someone when someone
Is to try to find a property on your own is really an ardent task.
it's a minefield.
You got it.
Yeah.
And you're having to deal with the French agents, so.
So what What's it like working on House Hunters in all these small apartments? Is that a little bit annoying?
Well, they're not always small.
No, but I mean, some of them are small. Some are small. You told me that
The ones we're doing in this show are studios.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But is that? I mean, all the camera equipment. I mean, we got our camera guy here. We got a tiny little camera. Imagine with the full sound guy and everything like that.
It's way more difficult to film inside of 20 square meters than it is inside of 200 square meters.
Yeah, right. I can imagine.
Oh, yeah.
And in terms of Paris stories, you've been in like every apartment in the whole city,
No.
more or less. More or less. I mean, like
A lot.
in the Marais, you've been into a lot of the buildings. We could say.
I have. I've been into a lot.
Can you
But-
share a secret? Can you tell me somewhere that's cool, like a little way to get into a building or something?
Well, you know how to get into a building. We got into a building
That's
that
good.
we
That's-
weren't supposed to get
true.
into.
Okay. That secret was just walk in after someone.
Well, that's the secret.
That's the
Okay,
secret.
now the other secret is that usually the neighbors in a building next to the building know the door code of the building.
So you go to the neighbors and say, "Let me
Right.
into your neighbor's house." And
Right.
why would they let you into the neighbor's house?
Well, you just say something like, I forgot. I'm visiting somebody,
I'm
but I
pregnant.
couldn't find the door code. Do you have the door code? You
Yeah.
just give them some dumb excuse, and it works.
I'll tell you something. I lived in my apartment.
That was easy.
I've lived in. Well, I mean, that was the sound that means
That
you have to
was
finish
easy.
up. But I want to tell you, I lived in my apartment for a year now, and I only learned, honestly, yesterday the door code out the front. When I moved in, they told me it didn't work.
Oliver, I would not admit that again, especially in public.
All right. Well, thank you for coming on the show, Adrian.
Thank you.
You guys.
Thank you. WRP.
World Radio Paris. That's the one.
And Oliver G.
And Adrian Leeds.
And come see us on
Yes,
the 18th.
that's right. I think there's about 10, 15 tickets left. If you want them, send me an email, send me a comment.
Now.
Right now. Like, if you're going to be in Paris, April 18th, that's the show. 10 euros a ticket. You're going to have the time of your life. Yeah.
Thanks, Oliver.
Okay, thanks, Adrian.
Bye.
Okay, so if you're tuning in now, I see there's a lot of people watching on Facebook. And if you're listening on World Radio Paris, we're doing 6 guests. It's a 1-hour show. And the last guest is coming up. I promised a mystery guest. And I'll give you a little hint of who it is before she comes on. I think these are yours. The person coming on is going to be my sidekick in season 4. If you'd like to take a seat, it's Lena.
Hello.
So,
I was going to cover my face, but then I thought.
no, you already covered your face. So, I was going to say introducing you to the show, Lena, but it's not true because you've been on it before.
I have.
You were on talking about.
A
It was one of the
while
most
ago.
popular episodes about are the French
Really?
people polite.
It's a good one, actually.
But a lot of people are probably wondering who you are and why you're coming in here as a secret guest. I see you had one of these when you walked in.
Yeah.
As a clue.
I did.
There's a
It is a
visual
clue.
for you guys
It
who
is a
are.
visual
I'll do a
clue.
Adrian's doing a picture.
And for an audio clue, it's
An audio clue. Yeah, we're holding up a
scooter
helmet.
helmet.
Yeah. So for full disclosure, Lena is my fiance.
Yes.
I love using that word. You love using the word.
It's great because you don't get to use it for a long time,
yeah, that's true.
which is cool.
and what
It's
we're
like
gonna.
a passing trend.
Yeah, right. It's one of it's a word you can only use so many times in your life, and then it becomes wife or husband, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But the reason you're going to be on season 4 is we got this big plan, and I thought that we'd just talk it through and let people know what's coming up, so that they can decide to get excited for it, or indeed tune out if they don't like the idea.
Yes.
But it was your idea, and I think
It was my idea, and it's kind of cheesy and it's kind of amazing at the same time. And I'm very excited, and I think it's going to be a really, really good.
so. Shall I
Time.
explain what it is?
Yeah.
There's a few comments in. People are saying, "We love Lena. We've seen you on TV. We see." Oh no, that's still Adrian stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So what we're gonna do is we are. what
really-
we're gonna do is we're gonna get married in the summer, and then. Oh, thanks, guys. So what we're gonna do is, it was your idea, is we're gonna take the little red scooter that I've mentioned a lot on the show,
Yes.
and we're gonna ride it around France, the entire country, over a month as a honeymoon.
As a honeymoon.
And the route that we're going to take, the journey, is going to be in a big love heart shape.
Yes.
Now, this is Lena's idea.
Yeah.
You mocked this
I
up.
prepared a little
I'm going to hold
drawing.
something up. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but I'll hold it up for you to have a look. That's your... you know what? That's something else we should talk about. You're
Yeah,
the
that's a
graphic
very
designer of the
visual
show.
Yes, I am. Well, I did the logo.
Okay, did
for
you see that all
Oliver,
right there, cameraman?
And
Yeah, okay.
And I did the Croque Monsieur tote bag.
That's right, you did
that
the-
recently sold out.
Sold out. People are
Completely.
calling in. People are writing in saying they wanted a rerun of it. I said never.
Really?
Anyway, I've got that. We're gonna. By the way, we've got another tote bag coming out.
Yes.
More on that soon. Anyway, this is what we're talking about. So we've written, or you've written here, the Amour de France.
Yeah, it's kind of wordplay
Right.
of Tour de France, obviously. And instead of bicycle, because we're not totally mad, we're going to be on a scooter.
Right, and the
together.
picture you've done is a bride and a groom on a scooter.
Yes.
Right, and so that
I'm going to be in my dress for a month.
the wedding dress.
Yeah.
So the idea is one of the popular criticisms on this show, so popular criticisms, is all you do is Paris. They say all you do is Paris. There's a lot more to France than Paris. That's what they always say.
Yeah.
And this
Rightfully so.
is a way of silencing the critics. This is a way to silence the critics
Yeah,
and
once
say,
for
no,
all.
this is a way of, because both of us were talking that we wanted to see more of France. So the idea is that literally in this heart shape, we head off north, west, and we go all the way down to the point at the bottom of France,
Yeah.
and then come
Kind
back
of
up on
along
the
the
other
coast.
side. And the reason that I wanted to tell you guys about this today, you guys who are watching and listening live on World Radio Paris and Facebook Live, is because I want you guys to be involved in it in some way. I want you to tell me cool things to see. I want you to tell us cool things to see.
Yeah, we are clueless. We need a lot of tips and ideas and just like, don't do that. And whatever you do, please.
I want people to tell me I've got an uncle in Toulouse with a farm. You've got to go and
Exactly.
You
Things
gotta
like
go
that is
and,
perfect. Or if it's someone has always wanted to see something in France and don't have the possibility of doing it, we could go there and check it out and take cool pictures. And I don't know, there's so many things to do.
And the idea is that we'll share pictures and videos along the way and do it as this kind of linear, tangible story where we see the whole country and do something we both always wanted to do and share it with people.
Exactly.
But the big problem is we're taking the scooter, which anyone that's seen a video of it or that's seen it out on the street, I don't know if you guys have seen it here in the crowd, but it doesn't. It's going to be a hard trip, Lena, because that scooter.
It's going to be tough.
A scooter repairman called it Chinese crap to me yesterday.
Well, that is harsh, but you know.
I literally went to fix. What happened is I went to fix the light because the light broke, which is a bad start already.
It's a bad start.
Because it's only a year old, and he said, "We don't fix that kind of Chinese crap here. Take it to another scooter repair shop."
You got disgusted.
You know what he said? He said, "Take it to another scooter repair shop. There's one around the corner that would fix it." I said, "Well, what's it called?" He said, "It's called Fun Scooters."
Wow.
As if
It sounds like a toy shop.
Yeah, like a toy shop, but they fixed it. Anyway, so the thing is, this journey is going to be fraught with peril and danger. And I don't know.
Is it?
Yeah, because of the
I
scooter.
guess, in a way.
But we want to keep it, there's a comment here, rent a car.
No.
No.
So this is the problem. It's that would defy everything.
The point is that we
Defy
do it
the
on a
idea.
scooter and you come in and you feel the city or you feel the countryside on your face. The scooter can only go 50 kilometers an hour on a good day with the wind behind it going downhill.
Yeah, we're gonna have to take the back roads.
Yeah, well, we legally can't take the main roads.
Yeah.
We can't take the
and we're gonna
highways.
have to pack light.
That's the thing. This is why we think
How are
it'd
we
be
gonna
a kind
do
of a
this?
fun.
Oh wow, we have not thought this through.
No, we haven't. That's the thing. We haven't thought it through. Which
No,
is
this
kind of
gonna
the
be
fun of
good.
it. That's kind of why I wanted to share it with people. Is that we have really just started talking about. We wanted to do a honeymoon. We've done a road trip before in the States.
Yeah.
We wanted to do something similar. We figured we'd take the red scooter. We figured so this is the idea, about 30 days, right? And I was thinking to do a podcast episode or a video, one for every day as a sum up. Like on the map is you can sort of see the stops all the way along.
And it'd be great for us as well because both of us have terrible memories.
I
so
know,
it's
that's
gonna
the
be
other
like
thing,
a this almost.
So this is what I like. I'm already seeing someone saying get his and hers Vespers.
Oh, really?
That's not a bad idea.
That is quite a good idea.
And people are saying...
I also have to get a Chinese crap hers Vespa then.
Someone's saying, Narbonne, my friend owns a bar there. This is the kind of stuff that I want. I want you guys to send in
that's
reviews.
perfect.
I want you to give suggestions of things that we can do.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's going to be the idea of...
It's going to be an adventure.
Yeah. Okay. Now, I think
Definitely.
my idea was that we were going to reveal that at the end, but I've kind of done it back to front. I also thought you were going to walk on with a helmet at the
Yeah,
start.
I know, but I couldn't find my helmet. Oh, now I see it. Yeah, there it is.
But I thought, let's talk about let's say I'm doing it in reverse. Let's talk about, like I said, you're the illustrator behind Parisian Postcards, which I didn't put a link to, but people should follow that.
Yes. So I'm mainly a fashion designer with my own shoe brand. It's called Deuxième Studios, which is
Deuxième Studios.
Yes,
Yeah.
French inspired.
By a Swede. You're a
By a
Swede.
Swede. That's
Yeah.
true. That's true.
And you've done, you do all these kind of drawings about Paris and France
Yes.
on the Instagram account.
Yeah, and exactly. So I'm a designer and illustrator.
So anyone just tuning in wondering what's going on, I've got Lena, my fiance. She's going to be in the Amour de France in August, I think. September-ish.
Yeah.
Season 4 of the
mid-August.
Earful Tower. That's right.
Yeah.
But you also, there's something that I wanted to bring up. You, as an illustrator, have designed the images for the new guide to Paris that I've done. And when I say designed the images, I mean, what, sketched?
I guess so.
So
Pen
here's
to
some
paper.
news for you guys. Over the past year and a half, I think, I've had this show, the Earful Tower, and I've had all these people giving me tips and recommendations of things to see in Paris. And I've gathered all the best ones together in this big document. And I think I've called it 150 things you've got to see in Paris before you die.
It is the ultimate
I didn't put the
guidebook.
before you die bit at the end. It's just
No,
150
you
things to do in
just
Paris.
added
Lena's done the sketches for it, the kind of things
Yes.
you see on the Parisian postcards. Our listeners recently made me a map with all the spots. They just did it out of the goodness of their heart. That's there too. I'm going to put it all together in the very coming days as a guide for Paris. You didn't bring the sketches with you?
I didn't, no, but I think you need to share that.
No, so that's something that's going to be coming
Up.
in the coming days. Someone, Mike Shaw writes, Loire.
Oh, as in the valley?
I don't know. Maybe it's a typo. It could mean anything.
It could be anything.
How to follow on Instagram, at Parisian Postcards for Deborah Ball, unless you're talking about the Earful Tower, which is at the Earful Tower.
Yes. That's it.
But yeah, what else can we wind this up on? Maybe we should get everybody else in for a farewell panel. Do you guys want to
Yeah.
jump back in?
Come back in,
Come on, then.
guys. Come back in.
We got to
Join
finish out the
party.
hour. Sam, you might have to stay on the camera, but Adrian and April, come say goodbye.
All right.
This time we can talk directly to the Facebook.
I can use?
So I want to have, while we're here, the four of us, if you can sit. Yeah, you can sit on the edge. I want to do a sort of sign out and a little review of this and see what we think about it. What do we think about live Facebook videos?
Do we need our headset?
No, if you're talking in the microphone, it will work.
Okay. Now I've got yellow.
Yeah. So Adrian, I feel like you're more concerned about matching the equipment.
It's very
Today,
important.
yeah?
Color coordination.
Well, your earrings
Yeah.
there.
Oh, yeah.
Perfect.
So what do you?
Thanks for that, April.
How do you guys feel about being the first people on the Earful Tower live show that we may or may not ever do again?
Great.
Yeah.
Privilege.
Honored.
So fun.
Yeah.
Tell me what it was like being in the audience like that. Too small?
No.
No.
Fabulous.
But we need more audience.
We need more audience.
Yeah,
Well,
more
how many people
energy.
do you think
Yeah.
we could fit in here?
Might be a bit of a tight squeeze in here.
This
can
room
stand
is
in the
like
corridor.
2 by 2 meters square.
You know this idea of having two Vespas
Yeah.
for your honeymoon trip?
Yeah.
Maybe you need a bigger studio. Think
How am
bigger.
I meant to get a bigger? No,
Oliver.
this is actually a good. This is a good point, Adrian, that you bring up, because this show doesn't have a sponsor in terms of like an airline or something like that. But what we do have is we have generous Patreon followers, and I'd like to just.
But you will get an airline or something like that
If there's
you
an airline
think
watching, yeah,
bigger
yeah.
and you
Spread my
continue
wings.
to
Yeah.
build your audience, and
yeah.
the bigger you get, then the more desirable you will be to them.
One can learn from Adrian. Hold on.
Yeah.
Marketing.
But that's not, but in all seriousness, that's definitely true. But I want to say a big thanks to the Patreon, the
Patreons.
followers. This is important. These are the guys who are sponsoring the show. You guys all know what I'm talking about. We've done behind the scenes stuff for them before. If you guys want to help out the show, there's a link at the top. It's called Patreon, patreon.com/the Earful Tower. That's how you guys can support this show. And when we do these kind of live stuff that we've done before or that we're going to do in the future, that's what we do for you guys as a little bonus thank you, like the walk that we did on Rouvier de Temps. So if you
So
fancy...
do it.
Yeah, do it.
Send Oliver money.
Hey, no, we can't demand it like that. Can we? No, but if you want to support the show and you like it, that's something that you guys
You just
consider
have
doing.
to ask. And
Well, I
they
just
will.
did.
They will give.
Okay.
Ask and they will give.
Well, guys, check it out and see. Now's a good time to sign up and potentially help sponsor the show, basically. If you're an airline listening, how do
Or
I...
any other big sponsor who wants to reach expats.
Yeah. Not just expats, people that love Paris and France.
Yes, in
All
English,
over the place.
of course.
In English. Get in contact. Closing thoughts. Let's do a quick fire round. I think we got 2 minutes left.
Wow.
And we're going to do a quick fire round like I used to do in the first 2 seasons. And this is how it's going to be. I'm going to fire quick questions at you, and you guys have to answer until we hear the horn that means sign off. Are you ready?
Do we just shout them out all at once?
You all have to come up.
All at once. Let's
Okay,
see
you
how
ready?
it.
Top. Yeah, we're running out of time. You ready? Quick. Best street that you should check out in Paris.
Rue Mouffetard.
Rue Mouffetard.
Love it. My favorite. Yep.
Rue du Marty.
I have too many. I love. No. Well, I love Rue de Bretagne because I live on Rue de Bretagne.
Okay,
But
two more
that
questions.
doesn't count.
Two more. It counts. 2 more questions. Favorite arrondissement in the city.
Third.
11. The trendy 11.
Thank you.
Marais.
April.
20th. Yeah.
Adrian, you're just saying stuff from around your house. Our last question is a tip for everybody listening and watching before we sign out. One building that you should go and see in this city before you die.
The Hotel de Ville.
Oh, that
Nice
weird
one.
one on Rue de Rivoli. It's like the artist colony with lots of colors.
Rivoli.
The
yellow
squat.
one, yellow
The
one.
big
Yeah.
squat.
The squat.
Yeah,
It
that's
sounds like a
weird.
gym move or something like that. The big
Well,
squat.
it is, but it's the big squat.
And
right.
April, a building to see.
Sacré-Cœur.
Sacré-Cœur.
Yeah,
Okay, well, there's
definitely.
9
Much
tips for
better than
there's 9 tips for you guys to all check out. The music's in my ear. I think it's time to sign out. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And we'll
Thank you, World Radio Paris.
Yes.
exactly right. Thanks, guys, and we'll see you next time.
Bye. Bye.